This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
Hey, Top Shop Podcast listeners. Thanks for joining us for another Top Shop Podcast with Bryan Riske from NeoTek. Bryan sent me a thing the other day. Who is NeoTek? NeoTek is they're one of the largest manufacturers that you've never heard of for rotors for vehicles. So Bryan's been with the company almost a year now. But how many years? Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you end up here? How did you end up in the automotive aftermarket industry? Give us the I was born. So give me an idea.
Yeah, so I've been in the automotive aftermarket, or the automotive industry, I guess we say, for about 20 years now. Out of college, I was working for I went to college at a culinary school. My degree would have been in hotel restaurant management, or the business administrative degree they had there.
That's a big change.
Yeah, it's a huge change, but it's not too different, right? Because it is still all about the customer. From there, I worked for a great family-run company, but needed to grow, needed to move on from there, and found my first job in the automotive industry with Bridgestone Firestone back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Worked for the retail side in the corporate office.
Okay.
From there, moved on.
That's a good experience, right?
One of the best experiences in the industry.
Yeah,
they're
sure.
great. They're a fantastic company. They really do care about their employees. But moved on, went to a great family-run company in Michigan, Bell Tire, another great company. They've been growing through the Midwest, but great people to work with, great experiences both with Bridgestone Firestone and with Bell Tire. Learned a lot. Really helped me grow in the automotive side, because prior to starting with Bridgestone, I never touched a car, never did anything with a car. If I needed to get work done, I brought it to somebody who knew what they were doing, because I never trusted myself to touch any of that stuff. Then had some change. My family was growing and we needed more support, so we moved out of Michigan and moved to Missouri. Found myself with a great position with First Brands Group, where I started.
Right, and that's First Brands. That's a real big company too, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And what is First
great
Brands?
company.
Real fast.
First Brands. First Brands has a bunch of different product lines. They do pretty much everything in the automotive industry.
Right.
Some of their brands would be Trico, Ray Bestis, Carter.
Right, it's a bunch.
They have a bunch of big names.
One umbrella. It's a bunch of companies, right? First Brands. Okay, I've heard the name before. Yeah.
Worked with some of the best in the industry there. All three of the places I've been to, I've worked with some of the best in the industry. So I've got great. I've got to learn a lot of different ways to do things, depending on the size of the company. Depending on their experience, and I've learned from their experience, also learned from my own. So it was very, how can you say, you learn a lot in the automotive industry. It's not just one thing. There's a ton of things you need to learn, and a ton of things that you just learn as you go. But the one thing they all had in common was they all wanted to satisfy customers' needs. Customer satisfaction.
Sure.
That was nice to see, and you could take that and build on it from your own. Each place doing it a little different. Each place having different tactics, but you learn what works for you and what doesn't work.
Right.
So it's been great experience throughout those years working with these companies, learning a lot. It's coming from the installer side to the manufacturing side or distribution side, depending on how you look at it. What I did with First Brands, there's a lot I didn't know, just because I lived in that installer world for so long. I didn't really understand much when I came to the manufacturing side, and I got to learn a lot there.
Big learning curve, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about NeoTek. So NeoTek is and by the way, I met Bryan at a MAP conference. So like a lot of people that we have that are in corporations, that are involved in the automotive aftermarket industry. I met Bryan at a Motorist Assurance Program conference, which is the AMRA, Automotive Maintenance and Repair Association. So we'll mention that here in a little bit, because auto repair shop owners, that's probably, of all the organizations to belong to and have those badges on your website, the map and the AMRA logos are probably some of the best ones you can have on there. But tell us about NeoTek. Tell us about this company. It's been in the market for 40 plus years. Is that correct? And you guys are like the private labeler. Like, a lot of people don't know, Costco is the second largest retailer in the nation. Amazon's number one. Costco's number two. And I never bought Costco brands until I actually did a little research on them. I mean, one of the biggest battery manufacturers, I think it might even be Duracell. They private label the batteries. It's the same battery with a different label on it. You know, their laundry detergents, their toilet papers, they're all made. They don't make any of this stuff. They're a retailer, not a manufacturer. They just go to the manufacturer and say, hey, I want you to private label it with our stuff on it and give us a really good deal on it. And then that manufacturer doesn't have to pay for that advertising for that product. They're advertising for their product. So they're able to sell it a little bit cheaper and pass it on to the consumer. So I think most of us know about what private labeling is, but tell us about private labeling, because your rotors are, I mean, it doesn't matter whose name's on it. It's probably made by you guys, right?
We do a lot of that. Yeah. That's been who we are for 40 plus years. This is the first year that we're coming out with our own branded line.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, we've been private labeling for many, many customers, which I would bet anybody in the automotive industry has touched one of our rotors. Installer side. Let me say it that way. Anyone who's on the installer side has touched one of our rotors and has used our, and consumers, probably a lot of consumers have used our rotors and they don't even know it's us. You're right, because private label.
I got a couple of Porsches, both all-wheel drive vehicles, because I live in the mountains. One's steel and one's carbon ceramic. Do you guys make you make those rotors for Porsche?
The high carbons?
Yeah.
Yes, we do the different metallurgies. We do have a high carbon. We also do G11H18 rotor, which is our go-to-market rotor. It's the rotor you would see on almost every vehicle. Yes. Okay. This I don't want to call it a standard, because it's not a standard rotor, but it's a fantastic metallurgy for the rotor. No, but we also do have a high carbon.
No, so for the auto repair shop owners, because I want to keep their interest here so they don't go away. What's coming to the market is your branded ZN30 and ZN30 Plus. Those are the high carbon ones. Those are the ones that you're just talking about. Okay, correct. So that's going to be under your brand, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So we're coming to market with a fully coated rotor, which is our ZN30, which is with the G11H18 rotor. We're little by little picking up new customers throughout the U.S., and those are coming to market. So we are distributing them currently to our customers throughout the U.S.
Okay. Is the market shifting towards these coated rotors, do you think, or because they're more expensive, right?
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. We're coming to market with a coated rotor, only a coated rotor, unless the vehicle is about 14 plus years older, because then there's not a need for a coated rotor. When I say that, when I say 14 years plus not needing for a coated rotor, you don't see those rotors. They're usually hidden by they don't have the open wheel concept. But a coated rotor is, well, I like to say, is what every consumer deserves. With the open wheel concept, nobody really likes to see the rust on their rotors. Nobody wants to look down and say, man, these rotors are already falling apart. You know, they look like there's rust everywhere. Nobody wants to see that. They want their car to look nice. They want it to look great. And with a coating on it, a rust preventing coating, it really works well for the customer. With the consumer, or with the installer as well, a coated rotor has already been cleaned. So they just need to take it right out of the box and put it right onto the car and ready to go. And they're ready to go. So that helps the installer by also saving some time for them while doing a brake job.
Okay. So you guys
there's a lot of benefits to it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure that most auto repair shop owners are aware of Coda Rotors and the emerging
Correct.
technologies on there. So, so NeoTek, you guys are a global company. You've got manufacturing in Taiwan, China, and India, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
and you're going to be opening in Vietnam pretty soon, which is a smart move because a lot of companies are the China-US thing. So, a lot of manufacturing is pulled out of China. There's a city there. I forgot the name of it. It's a big city. It's like a ghost town now. It's like all the companies left. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how China's going to still. I don't know. I guess they're still a major manufacturing hub. So
Mhm.
but your U.S. headquarters is in Memphis, and the global headquarters is in Taiwan. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we are opening that new facility in Vietnam. We're excited about it. It's going to be a beautiful facility. It's going to be 1.5 million square feet of production space. We're opening it up in phases. So come October, the plant's going to be up and running, which is not that far away if you think about it. Gosh, we're only
Yeah.
6 months out,
And
which is exciting.
since this is a new facility, everything's going to be the latest technology, right?
Correct. We're utilizing AI technology. It's going to be almost fully automated, and that's going to help with our efficiency at the plants, making sure we're
Okay.
running everything needed. It's going to start with phase one. It's going to start with one foundry line, so we're going to be able to right off the bat make 9 million rotors out of that facility, and then
Wow.
then we call the next phase. It's not phase two; it's phase 1.1, where the other foundry line, other rotor lines will be opening right behind it. So we're going to be able to do another 9 million out of that. So we're really excited to get that plant up and running to help produce rotors for our customers. We're still going to keep our plants in China. We're
Okay.
still going to have our plants in China. We're still going to have some manufacturing in India. That is not changing for us. We're still going to be producing. It all makes sense to keep everything up and running and everything producing. So that's not changing for us. But the new plant in Vietnam is you're 100% right. It's going to be great for us. Customers are also going to want to hear about that. All of them are wondering what's going on. How are we going to work with them? Is there anything else we can do? Produce things out of China? And yeah, we are starting to produce things out of China. So it'll be great.
So how long has production been in China?
I think since I don't have a good answer for that because I've only been with the company for 8 months, but I'm guessing since we opened. Now we do have a machining facility and a paint facility in Taiwan as well. So I know in the past things were shipped over there as well, and then finished there and then sent over.
So anything that any kind of information, you've been in the industry for a while. I mean, it's changing, pretty quick. What are the biggest changes that you think that you're going to see over the next decade in our industry for the auto repair shop owner? What's going to be the things that they need to be looking for that you see from the inside, working with First Brands, working with NeoTek, largest manufacturer on the planet for rotors. Where do you see
One of them.
One of them, right? Yeah. Okay.
One of them. There's some there's some big ones out there. We're one.
Is there really? Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'd love to say we're number one, but there are a lot of rotor manufacturers out there.
Are they? Okay.
They do a fantastic job as well.
Every car, a lot of cars out there. Every car has 4 rotors, so I can't imagine. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and I'm sure like Toyota and these big companies, they have manufacturers specifically for them that just tries to keep up with their, right?
Correct.
So,
Correct. They work with many different rotor facilities as long as they meet their audits and they go through auditing, right?
Sure,
So
yeah.
that they have to audit the facilities, make sure that facility can make the rotors to their specs, work
Right.
with their engineers, all of that. Yeah.
And I'm
And
sure
then-
they check the specs from time to time to make sure they're getting what they're, Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which we have some OES. We work with some manufacturers as well. We are in the OES space. We do a lot of aftermarket product currently. I mean, we're really big in the aftermarket, but we are working with OEs to at least try to work with. We're currently working with OEs. Let me say it that way to try to get audited. Make the connections, do things like that to help us help them.
So we're moving away from internal combustion engines to a more environmentally disastrous electrical vehicles. But anyway, so the internal combustion engine is going by the wayside over time, of course, but possibly. I'm this battery technology, and hopefully, the mining of the resources is just people just don't understand. Oh, I'm driving an electric vehicle. I'm helping the environment. No, 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 you're not. You don't know anything about the mining process to create all that stuff that's in that car. And what are we going to do with that battery 10 years from now? We don't throw motors out every 10 years. We just rebuild them. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully we'll have a new, in 10 years, we'll have a battery replacement technology or a way to recharge these older batteries. Do you see anything happening with the braking systems that's going to be move away from the rotor disc, the rotor and caliper system to something that's more electrical?
We haven't had too many conversations about that. I've heard much about that.
Sure.
The nice thing is there are so many vehicles still using the same, almost the same braking system
Hmm.
that it's not really in our radar yet.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
on our radar yet.
So maybe
Uh,
in 2050 we'll have that conversation. So like
exactly.
maglev technology, you know, so,
Yeah.
so maglev technology in the wheels. So there is no moving parts that grab each other. And yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
just thought I'd ask. Nothing on the radar yet, but I'll bet it'll be down the road to where one day we have a braking system. Here's my prediction, my crystal ball. It's going to be maglev.
I'd love to see it. It's sort of like the trains, right? The bullet trains,
Right.
things of that nature. I'd
Yeah.
love to see it. I'd love to be a part of that. I mean,
Mhm.
by 2050, I don't know if I'll be still selling rotors at that time. I might be retired,
Right.
but
Oh, I hope so.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see it. I'll be around. I just don't know at that time. But we are seeing some changes around the braking system with sensors and things like that, and the system's getting smarter. So there are changes going on. I mean, the sensors are there to help the customers be more aware, or the consumers be more aware of where their brakes are at. I mean, it doesn't really go off to what 4/32
Mhm.
of the wear,
Right.
but the systems are getting smarter, which we just have to everybody just has to be aware of that. And I'm hoping the technology and the education on that technology is shared and people are able to learn more, which again is also what AMRA is about. Like we talked about earlier, they're there to help everybody with that.
Right.
So
Yeah. So let's briefly let's float the AMRA's boat. AMRA, if you're listening, Auto Repair Shop Owner, is Automotive Maintenance Repair Association. It's amra.org. AMRA works with all the leading manufacturers and including the car manufacturers to create a set of standards, which is called the Motorist Assurance Program. It's called motorist.org. So when you join it's $199 a year. So when you join 100 whopping 199 as a digital marketing agency, you would want to make sure that those badges, those trust badges, we belong to these associations. We're ASE certified. We're Better Business Bureau. But any trust badge you can get on your website helps with your conversion rate on your website. So, but Motorist Assurance Program, what that does is it removes you from recommending the service to the automobile owner, because the automobile owner, it's just like if I create and produce a movie and you ask me how's my movie, I'm going to tell you about my movie. But if you ask your next door neighbor about my movie, and your next door neighbor gives you the opinion, which one are you going to take? So it's third party. This is psychologically proven. So the Motorist Assurance Program to the automotive repair shop, what that does is it removes you. It's not me recommending that this power steering fluid need to be replaced while you came in to get a brake job done. It's the Motorist Assurance Program saying that this should have been replaced at 50,000 miles and you're now at 65. And this could be a safety hazard down the road. So it really helps the auto repair shop market more services, help the automobile owner keep a better care of their car, but they're not the ones recommending it. It's the Motorist Assurance Program that's recommending it. So, but tell me a little bit about AMRA. How long have you been going to AMRA?
I think we're going on myself going on about 4 years, but I've
Right,
known about it since I started with Bridgestone.
right. And you used to go when you were First Brands, is that correct?
Correct. I used to go
Right.
when I was
Okay.
with First Brands,
Yeah.
and now with NeoTek.
Right.
Um, let's yeah. I mean, I've listened and learned um, from Jeff Cox and a few others at Bridgestone back in the day about AMRA, and learned what they did for us and how they helped set inspection forms, things like that, and worked with different companies to create standards. Now Jeff is the president of AMRA,
Yep.
and I used to work with him back in the day at Firestone. So
Oh,
it's
did
nice
you?
to see
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. He was a category one. He used to be in the education department, but now he's with he was on when I worked with him. He was in the category management team.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's always great to go to these meetings and see someone you've worked with in the past, a friendly face, someone you
Right.
could talk to about the good old days. Uh, and there's a lot of people that used to sell to us that are actually still a part of AMRA today. So it's great to see old customers and or old suppliers of yours, and still have those relationships. So you can still contact them, do whatever, build new relationship with people that just show up to the AMRA, like you and I.
Hmm.
We just met at AMRA. Yeah, AMRA's been fantastic. I've been a member for about 4 years myself.
Hmm.
Learned a lot. You sit in these meetings, and even if it's something that let's say I didn't sell. Well, at the time when I was there, that we didn't sell headlights,
Right.
but I got to learn about the different headlights and different why it's important to have these headlights over these headlights, or how much is it going to, with the new technologies coming out, what are the different or the changes? Where are what are the new systems that require different types of headlights? And can you just buy a headlight, or do you have to buy a whole system? And there's a lot of there was a lot of changes in that. Had no idea when it come to alignments. The new systems on alignments, had no idea, because that was never part of something I sold. But I sit and I learn and I listened, and it's very interesting, very nice. It's something that people should be aware of. These new technologies coming out, which AMRA helps educate on. I mean, I didn't have a reason to learn it. I don't have a reason to. I mean, I work with rotors currently. Headlight really is far away from a
Right.
rotor,
Yeah.
but it's good to know these things, because
Sure.
you do speak with installers, you do speak with your customers that sell specific things. The more information you know, and the more information you learn, or the more you can direct people to the right people. For example, direct one of my customers to AMRA. It just helps spread the knowledge. So it's a great group, and it's an important group to work with and to be a part of. So I'm very happy that NeoTek has joined him and have become a member of AMRA.
When you went to work from First Branch to NeoTek, did you tell the company about AMRA? Are you the reason? Okay, that's what I figured.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, you guys need to belong to this organization. They help. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's great. So that's good for Jeff, because in AMRA, because now they have another major manufacturer. Like, they've got Bridgestone. I mean, name a company. I mean, they all belong to AMRA.
Correct.
And then the shop owner and the local level, you are able to say, we are a motorist assurance program shop.
Mhm.
That's anything that you can do to differentiate yourself from that local competitor is a plus. And this is a big one, to say, hey, we're the only motorist assurance program shop in this immediate area. You can say something like that. Immediately that sends a trust signal to the consumer that that shop cares about the consumer, and we make sure that we go by motorist assurance program standards, not just by conjecture of what we think you need to get done to your car. We have standards that we go by. So anyway, but now you had worked with Bridgestone, and you said they really take care of their employees. Now that's a really big thing with shop owners. They really want to create a really good culture so they can keep their technicians there. Any tips because you've worked with these big companies, you've seen how they manage. Any tips for the auto repair shop owner on managing employees and team members?
That's a great question, because each person's a little different, right?
Right.
So, you as a manager to an employee, of course, you gotta you gotta have lines. You gotta make sure you separate. But it's just important to educate them. One of the biggest things that I always thought was important is just educating the team. Keep them interested. Keep them educated. Keep them moving forward, and they're going to do well for you. That to me has always been important. If you keep educating your team, if you keep listening to them, keep them motivated, they're going to be happy. And the best place to work. I mean, you never want to go into work feeling, oh, it's Monday every day. You want to go in and say, man, this is a great place to be.
Right.
And enjoy what you do.
Right. A lot of the shop owners that I meet them at ATE. I was just at ATE in Seattle. We were at Vision in Missouri or Kansas, whichever. Kansas. It's in Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas. So it's strange these cities are in two different states, you know. But
I understand that. I'm right down the road from them. I'm on the St. Louis side.
Oh, you're on the St. Louis side. Oh,
yeah.
Missouri side, yeah. So I always get confused on those. It's like how can one city be in two states? Oh, they divided by a river, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of them. So, Bryan, any questions you think I should ask that I haven't asked that we can go ahead and?
I think the conversation's been great. I mean, it is coming around to break season. I mean, it is important for people to, you know, once it's always funny. And I learned this at Firestone back at the day. I had some great managers at Firestone, some of the best probably in the industry. And we always, you know, got ready for break season. And
break season
it's starting. Break seasons are when it's funny because it's different in different areas depending on the weather, right? Break season is when people start rolling down their windows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's that sort of thing. And it's important for people if they start hearing noises like grinding, squeaking, or they feel vibrations, or
they roll down their windows and they start hearing noises. Oh,
they start hearing noises.
Right. Yeah.
You know, take it to your installer and just have them take a look at it. I mean, you know, we're at that point of the year where it's as we call it, it's break season. You went all winter with your windows up, didn't hear much noise, probably didn't see anything, and as soon as they roll down those windows, they start hearing the noises, and it's time to go get your brakes inspected. So it's important right now because brakes are a safety. Brakes, rotors, calipers. It's all part of the part of vehicle safety. You don't want your brakes having issues, or you don't want to have a longer stopping distance with your vehicle. If you start feeling something or doing something, you want to make sure that your brakes are at tip-top shape. So that way you're not having that longer distance, which could lead to problems. So, you know, the windows are coming down. Make sure if you're hearing something or if you feel a vibration, get your brakes inspected.
Yeah. I don't think we have too many consumers watching my podcast, but that's music to the auto repair shop owners. And like you said, with today's sensors, it's really helping with safety and people getting their brakes serviced properly. Where before people would hear they'd go to the shop after they heard grinding, and the calipers grinding into the rotor. You know, now the sensors let people know on the dashboard, and I think most people take those seriously. So and take their car in to get service. Well, Bryan, I really appreciate your time again today. I look forward to seeing you at the MAP conference. My wife and I go to the one for sure every year in Orlando because that's really close to the Orlando premium factory outlet stores. So my wife said, if there's 3 of these and there's one in Chicago, one in Missouri, and one in Orlando, we're going to the one in Orlando. So, but anyway, so I will be there again in January. So hope to see you there. Not sure. We're not going to be at the Chicago one. I don't know if we'll be at the fall one or not. We haven't planned on it at this time. But
yeah, I guess I'll see you in Orlando or maybe in Vegas.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.